What's up, everybody? Joe White here. Um, I'm gonna talk about a very touchy subject in this video. First off, I'm sorry if the truck rocks. The truck is running. It is 90 degrees out here. I'm in. The name of the town is spelled E-A-R-L-E, so Early or Earl. Maybe the last E is silent. I don't know. Arkansas, just outside of West Memphis, about 25 miles west of the Mississippi River. I'm going to talk about Hana Kimura and the situation that led up to her very, very tragic suicide. It's going to be a little bit. I'm going to have a lot of people here go, Joe, you don't know what you're talking about. And right up front, I've seen her work maybe a couple of times, and I very much enjoy it. She was a beautiful young lady. She worked for a Japanese company primarily worked for Stardom. She's wrestled in America a couple times. I believe she worked for Ring of Honor a couple times. But, God, this is so hard to talk about. But I feel the need to, because she was on a reality show that has since stopped taping. Whoa, that's way better. Called Terrace House. And what Terrace House, I believe what Terrace House is, again, I've only seen the clip in question. I haven't watched the show. It's not available in my country. I stopped watching reality television after The Real World San Francisco way back in '93. I love those first 3 seasons of The Real World were fucking amazing. God, I miss the '90s. But anyway, sorry, I'm rambling on because I have so much running through my head right now after watching that clip. And I know that the clip is made to be altered and it's made to be presented in an entertaining way. But I watched this clip and I watched this conversation and I feel that this is reality. This is the way things went down. I don't feel like it was edited by the producer. Now, here's the thing. As we learned with the Colt Cabana CM Punk lawsuit, at the end of the day, the creator, you're the creator. Therefore, you have the ability to edit things. You have the ability to show or not show things. You have the ability to cut it out, as Joey Gladstone would say. So, the Colt Cabana thing with the doctor, Cabana at the end of the day could have cut that out. But he didn't feel like it was going to cause problems. Little did he know. I have to assume that the producer of the producers and creators and of this show, Terrace House, had to believe in their mind that they did not think, they saw this and they think, okay, first off, it's entertaining, which if you watch the clip and block out all the shit, all the aftermath, if you watch the clip as just a piece of reality TV, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this because a woman as a result has died, but I don't, in my mind, it's not a result of this clip. It's not a result of this show. It's a result of the assholes who watched the show and decided to go in the very wrong direction and bully the fuck out of Hana Kimura. So if you just take it in the context, again, as Eric Bischoff would say, context is key. It is entertaining. It's an entertaining clip. I'm sitting here, and I'll give you my thoughts on the clip. I'm sitting here watching this clip, and the half of me that's a wrestling fan is going, fuck yeah, you have every right to be upset. And then there's another half of me, which I'll explain here in a minute. So what happens is, in this house, I'm assuming that Hana Kimura and this guy, his name is Kai, and I'm assuming he's a stand-up comedian. they've had trouble in the past on the show. So this all comes to a head when this guy goes to do a load of laundry, and inside the laundry machine is a outfit a ring outfit, a piece of ring gear that Hana Kimura has worn in the past. She says she's only had it for like 3 months. And she says that it was the ring gear that she wore at the Tokyo Dome when she wrestled on the Wrestle Kingdom shows. For those who don't know, women don't often wrestle on the Wrestle Kingdom shows for New Japan. I don't want to say it, but I will say it. Women wrestling in Japan for New Japan is kind of almost taboo. It just doesn't happen. It's not what people in New Japan who go to New Japan, that's not what they pay to see. God, that wind is up. Anyway, so it's very special that she even got to step foot in the ring that night, let alone wrestle. The gear in question cost $1,000 to make. For those who don't know, ring gear is not something that you could just go to Walmart and buy. Granted, you could go to highspots.com and buy a pair of wrestling boots. Hell, you could go to walmart.com right now, type in wrestling boots, and they'd have them for you. But to get good ring gear, well-made ring gear that is going to stand the test of time as far as the ring goes, you have to find somebody who can make it custom, and it's not cheap. She even says that this cost her 1,000 yen. Or, no, excuse me, $1,000, she says. $1,000, basically American. 1,000 yen is like, what, $10? Man, this is so tough. Because I know I'm going to catch shit for this. But I don't care. I'm giving my opinion to this thing. So this dude goes to do a load of laundry and does not look to see if anything is currently in the washing machine. Now, we don't know have any background, at least I don't, based on the clip that I've watched. If we don't know have any background on why this ring gear was left in the washing machine. Bottom line, though, is whenever you go to do a load of laundry, you should check the machine first to see what's in there and go, hey, whose shit is this? I need to wash clothes. Can you get this out of here? Or is it okay to wash it with my stuff, etc.? This dude didn't do that. So he washes his clothes along with Hana's ring gear and then dries it. And then somebody else is folding this load of laundry. Things were weird in Japan. I guess it's customary to fold someone else's laundry. Anyway, while this other housemaid is folding this guy's laundry, she comes across the ring gear, and she makes mention several times the person who folded it. The first part of the clip that I watched is this girl who folded the laundry and Hana Kimura, I guess, sitting in their bedroom, and Hana Kimura is openly weeping with this ring gear in her hand, and understandably so. But she's like, yeah, when I folded the laundry, I noticed women's clothes, and then I noticed it was one of your costumes, and that's when my heart sank, blah, blah, blah. And in this clip, Hana Kimura is just beside herself. She's pissed. She's sad because she's just lost $1,000 worth of ring gear. She says that she worked with designers for weeks, months on end, designing the ring gear. The gear no longer fits. The colors have been altered and faded due to the washing and drying process. So she's out $1,000, and people, I think it's even more so in Japan. They take wrestling very seriously in Japan, for those who don't know. It gets reported in papers as if it was a real sport, not just sports entertainment like it is here. Um, so fast forward to some time later, everybody in the house, I'm assuming, is sitting around just chit-chatting at the table. Hana Kimura is openly crying and upset. They're discussing this situation. And the guy who in question is sitting there silently with this look of disappointment on his face. You can tell, at least for me, the way I took it, the dude is sitting there like looking like he's really, really hurt that this happened. He's really sorry that this happened. And she's going off on him, and rightfully so. You didn't check the machine. You're being selfish. Now, what I do not agree with, and again, this could be scripted, but I don't think it is. What I don't agree with is she, and again, I don't know the past history, but she calls this guy's out on his profession. She goes, here I am, out there, giving my blood, sweat, and tears, putting my life on the line for my industry, and all you're doing is stand-up comedy. You go out on the weekends and do your stand-up comedy, and it's nowhere near as good as what I do. That's the impression I get. First off, again, if this did happen, and if it's not scripted, if you've ever bombed on stage, if you've ever gotten booed off stage, or if a joke doesn't land right, that's hurting, man. That's not, that hurts you from a stand-up comedian's point of view. And stand-up comedy is not the easiest thing to do in the world. It may not be going out there taking bumps, but it's still not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there on a stage and try to make people laugh. As a wrestler, you're out there taking bumps instead of telling jokes, trying to get the same type of reactions from a crowd. So I think Hana, was kind of in the wrong by making that assumption. And even if she, even if I was watching this reality show, I'd be thinking the same thing. And I'm not speaking ill of the dead here. It's a very sad tragedy. It shouldn't have fucking happened. The aftermath of what happened on the TV show is what killed her. It wasn't the TV show itself. It wasn't this guy washing her ring gear that killed her. But anyway. So, the guy at least 5 or 6 times, before she even looks at him and goes, hey, say something. How can you be so quiet? He really was being quiet because it's like, what can he say? He fucked up. He ruined the ring. Nothing he can say or do is going to bring that gear back. And before she really starts going off on him, he tells her that he's sorry at least 3 or 4 times. Is it a heartfelt apology? I don't know, because I don't know Japanese dialect. So I really can't tell the emotion, what they're saying. I can only judge by the subtitles what they're saying. I can't tell the context and the meaning of what they're saying. It's like a stand-up comedian once said, Rob Schneider, you could get so many uses out of the word dude. The word dude can mean so many things. It can mean, come here, dude. Dude. It can mean you fucked up, dude. It can mean happy for you, dude. The word, you can get so much out of one word. So when this dude says, I'm sorry 4 or 5 times, because it's in another language, and because I only have words to go on, like written words, I can't, it's like when you read a text message. You can't sometimes get the emotion or the context of those words. So this dude could have been half-assing it, for all I know. But he does say he's sorry, and he says, hey, I'm really sorry. So then she goes off on him about some shit in the past. She again bashes this guy's career. And then, and like I said, rightfully, I'd be pissed. I'd be doing the same thing in her situation. Because I'm a huge ring gear mark. I know I have a very good appreciation for ring gear. If you're a wrestler, I don't care how many 5-star matches you have. If you have shitty ring gear, I'm going to call you out on it. Because that's just as important as what you do in the ring. It's how you look in the ring that matters too. Which is why you don't see my fat ass in there. So, what kills me though is she walks past this guy. Like, he's sitting at a bar. So, like, there's another, like, area behind them. I'm assuming it's her kitchen. Is behind this guy. She walks behind this guy, goes and gets her something to drink or something, walks back behind him around the table to her seat without touching this guy. So finally she's like, say something, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm sorry, what, I don't know what else to say except for I'm sorry. I can't say anything more. You know, maybe the right thing to do would have been to look at her and go, what do you want me to say? If it makes you feel any better, I'll say it. But what do you want me to say? I can't, you know, it's one of those situations where the guy knows he fucked up, and what else can you say but I'm sorry? So, she's walking away after all said and done. She then doubles back, walks to the guy, knocks his hat off, and goes, don't wear this stupid fucking hat, and knocks his hat off. Walks away, and he's like, don't touch me. She goes up the stairs to her room. He literally goes, what the fuck? And that's when the clip I watched cuts out. It amazes me how Japanese people still curse in English. That's freaking crazy. Again, context. And this apparently leads the audience of the reality show, not the pro wrestling audience. This is one of those situations where pro wrestling fans have nothing to do with this. It's the audience of that reality show that probably has never watched a wrestling match a day in their life. So they don't get the context. They don't get the meaning behind someone's ring gear being tarnished, if you will, or ruined. And that's not making an excuse for them. Because if they were cultured enough, they'd learn. So then the rest, this airs on Netflix, on TV. And the people in this reality show who do not agree with her bully her, harass her. They throw terroristic threats at her on Twitter. And seeing the emotion on this woman's face just from having her ring gear ruined, I can only imagine, because I suffer from bipolar depression, and I don't like taking negative criticism well. I don't like being yelled at. I don't like being, I got told all my childhood, for at least half my childhood, that I was a fuck up and I would never amount to anything. Every single day I got told that. So I can only imagine when people call this woman ugly, they called her stupid, they, whatever else they called her, they threatened her life, whatever. I can only imagine what this woman felt. Now, yes, since it come out, we've had a lot of female wrestlers, going, the black button is there for a reason, or, whatever. But it's not that simple as just blocking somebody. You still read those words first. And words can hurt. So then Saturday morning, I guess, Miss Kimura had enough, and she took her leave. I don't agree with what happened. There's people that, Dave Meltzer has said that the Japanese government and police are thinking about going after these people who made these threats, who bullied her online. And that a lot of people who have left her their messages and have left those hateful messages and hateful tweets have deleted their accounts to try to avoid getting caught. You still leave a footprint online. Twitter still keeps record of that. So I mean, so that's the side of it that kills me, is that the dude did apologize to her. What more could he have said? But the Japanese people, you know, I'm assuming these people were Japanese, or whoever has access to the you know, if you use a VPN, you have access to this show. But people who are bullying her, you know, wrestling fans would not have booed her. I'm on her side in all this. Dude should have checked the washing machine. Maybe she shouldn't have left the fucking gear in there in the first place. Dude should have checked the fucking washing machine. Said, hey, whose is this? I need to wash clothes. Is it okay if I wash it with my stuff? If not, can you kindly come get it? Have some courtesy. Think about other people. But that just leads, you know, the people, the fans, the people on Twitter, they don't see it that way. They see it as, oh, she slapped him. She didn't slap him. She grabbed his hat and took it off his head and threw it on the ground. So that's my raw emotions watching this. It's like, could things have gone different in the situation? Yes. But at the same time, people aren't taking it as, you know, reality TV isn't reality, folks. It's totally manufactured. Yes, in this situation, there's raw emotion involved with it. But that raw emotion is set up by having people from different backgrounds, different cultures, if you will, being thrown into a house and clashing with each other. If you go back to watch the 3rd season of The Real World, Puck Rainey got kicked out of the house for being rude to Pedro Zamora, who was a Latino man with AIDS. There's some reality in that. Also, though, the producers of the show fueled it and made it a main storyline of the show. I think that we have to take a step back as far as reality TV. These shows of let's throw them in a house and watch them go is so passé to me and so stupid to me. Again, it faded out in the 90s. Then VH1 did it with The Surreal Life with China and Dave Coulier and Charo all living in a damn house. It was so stupid. I mean, to sit there and do that, to harass a woman and berate a woman and make terroristic threats to a woman based off of what happened on a fucking reality show is just downright stupid. It's ignorant. It's wrong. You know, I always thought the Japanese people were more cultured than this. Were above this kind of thing. But apparently I'm wrong. Apparently it's world fucking wide. And a 22-year-old woman who had a long, bright life and career ahead of her took her leave because of people who did everything they could to make her feel less than in this world. And it sickens me. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her family. And I hope to God, if there is one, that the people who bullied her and the people that drove her to this, and I kind of put drove in quotes, but kind of in my head because, yes, at the end of the day, you have a choice. But sometimes people can make you feel as if you have no choice. Maybe the last thought running through her head is, maybe the world will be happier if I'm gone. Which saddens me. It saddens me so much to think that people can have that much of an influence on other people. And have that much of an influence on their brains and the way they think. You know, I gotta believe we were given free will for a reason. And when somebody comes and interferes with that free will, when somebody comes along and steers you in a certain direction, it saddens me. Because it can happen, it's true, you know. A person can only take so much. You could say, oh, delete your Twitter account, block people, whatever. The damage had already been done. You still have to see it. You still have to look at it. When it comes to Twitter, and you go and check your notifications, you have to fucking see it. You're going to look at it. We need to stop this, man. Yes, the world can't all be sunshine and rainbows. I'm the first one to make fun of myself in any given situation. But there's a line between making fun of somebody and having fun and making terroristic threats and wishing people they would kill themselves just because she slapped a hat off of this motherfucker's head. And the people who aren't in tune with the wrestling world are probably sitting there going, oh, it's all just because of a costume. Imagine someone did that. It doesn't matter. It's materialistic, yes. But imagine if somebody came and washed your car and used the wrong kind of wax and just stripped all the paint off your fucking car or some shit like that. You'd feel the same way. This is a part of the woman's livelihood. This is how she made her living. And $1,000 of that hard-earned living was pissed away because a motherfucker didn't ask somebody, whose shit is this in the washing machine? And then, you know, again, it's not even about that. You know, it's about the people who took that shit and just ran with it so cynically. Anyway, my thoughts are with her. My thoughts are with her family. I mean, only thing I can tell people is if you have thoughts like this, there's suicide hotlines out there. Hell, message me. My DMs are open on Twitter at Joe Pillow to Post. I'll talk to you. I may not always tell you what you want to hear, but I'm not going to tell you to go fucking kill yourself. I'm not going to make terroristic threats. This just fucking sucks, man. It really fucking sucks.